Hello and welcome. This is Lita Downs from the Center for Faculty Excellence, and I would like to welcome you to our recording session today, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, Meeting Students' Needs in Turbulent Times. This session is part of the Summer 2020 National Faculty Meeting Breakout Series, and on the line presenting this very important information is Susan Schnorr. Susan Schnorr is with the College of Education and Leadership here at Walden University. Welcome, Susan. It's so great to have you on the line.
Thank you, Lita. I'm glad to be here. And welcome to our listeners. Today, we're going to talk about Bridge Over Troubled Waters and meeting students' needs in turbulent times. And during this session, we'll first talk about what constitutes turbulent times, and then consider how to identify and meet students' needs without compromising academic standards. And then we'll explore a different way of thinking and looking at things, and how that can bring satisfaction to students and instructors, which ultimately improves academic achievement and retention. So first, let's take a look at students' needs. We have to understand this current situation. And during the webinar, we asked in chat about what kind of things are instructors seeing, what makes up turbulent times. And we talked about the fact that there are racial tensions in the country. COVID-19 is happening now, unfortunately, and it's at its peak. People are worried about being sick, family members are sick, social distancing, people are looking for connections. Some people are working from home, which is new to them. And some of us have been working from home, and we have company, children maybe doing schoolwork from home, which is new, and they might have a spouse or partner at home, and it's stressful. So it's typical stressors that adult students have, like managing family and work and school, are exacerbated by COVID. We're facing an onslaught, both instructors and faculty or students, of stressors and looking for connections and coping strategies to ease the weight of the public health crisis on our mental health. And since we're isolated, we're practicing social distancing, the human connection is a much more important tool than ever to lessen depressive symptoms. So the social connection, of course, is much more important than ever. And we're finding in higher ed, it's becoming a much more challenging environment as well. So if you could go to the next slide, Lita. We talked about the fact that it's a competitive environment today, and the world is more responsive in general. Students want a quicker response time, whether it's hearing back from the registrar or their counselor or their instructor. The higher ed's facing an enrollment decrease by 2026 when the birth rate will hit the wall, and eventually it'll hit adult learners. So institutions then are learning how to teach, in the online setting due to COVID, and it's become a more competitive environment. So that brings us to the fact that more and more institutions are pushing to this place where we're all trying to understand and meet student needs. Student satisfaction and retention is of compelling interest to universities as they continually improve the learning environments for students and meet the expectations of their constituent groups and legislative bodies and demonstrate institutional effectiveness. So all of this has elevated the need for customer service in higher ed. Next slide. Many find the notion of customer service distasteful in higher ed, but many are embracing it and moving, from this outdated notion of customer service or the customer is always right point of view to a more student-centered approach. So the concerns they have are that the students will want to change their grades. There'll be a mindset of the customer is always right. There'll be grade inflation. Students will want an easy A. The professor will lose power. There'll be a lot of complaints. and it'll lower academic standards. So we are finding, in fact, that we can provide better service without losing control. Students want good service and quick response times. And things like easy access to Blackboard, tech support, they want rich courses and content because they want to be highly qualified and can secure meaningful jobs when they graduate. And they're all realistic expectations. Professor Theoron at Florida International University says it best. He says, students stop being customers and consumerism stops when students log into my classroom. I expect students to earn, not buy their grade. Like a gym membership, you can't pay and get a 10-pound weight loss. So similarly, in academia, you can't just pay and get a degree. It's transformational. Students have to put effort into it and apply themselves. Shoppers buy goods and students earn their degrees. So it can feel like a gray area, listening to students' needs and helping them, especially in turbulent times, and still maintaining the power and finding the right balance between the relationship of instructor to student. And that's where some people kind of get a little worried about this customer service definition. So we can lead students with compassionate rigor. Adult learners have to still balance work and school and family, but what's the balance between helping them and being taken advantage of when you're the instructor? Perhaps we can state the expectations up front and give a free pass for redoing an assignment or give one extension. There are a lot of ideas. So there might not be a clear-cut formula. One student might lose a parent and have to fly across the country. Another student might be tired after working a 10-hour shift. Especially during turbulent times like we face right now, we might have to change our formula. We might have to shift and consider students' needs in conjunction with the circumstances right now. Next slide. So as we shift to listen to, quote, customer needs or student needs, there are many attractive and interesting aspects to looking at the customer as a student and listening to their needs. When students perceive themselves as customers, it changes their attitudes and puts them in a different position in terms of their relationship with the instructor and their university. It's a shift to an active partner in their education. Education is not a product or service, but a transformative process. So as you probably know, at Walden, we've already listened to the customer or student. We created the Tempo program. It's a competency-based learning program to fit the students' needs. And also, because of the desire to meet student needs, we're now making improvement in managing turnaround time and giving feedback. For several courses, including the first 2 courses in many programs, we implemented a 5-day turnaround for giving feedback. So we are listening to the customer or student to find what they need. Next slide. Many want to know what the student wants, and they listen. So Tina Long-Golding uncovered in her new faculty orientation and wrote about this in the faculty focus, the traits that students want. And you can see on the left column, they want honesty, they want the instructor to be available, understanding. You can see, I'll give you a second to read those. And in the next column, interestingly, I found that customer service skills matched up with the traits of what the students want in an instructor. So there's a shift in thinking, looking at the students as customers and having instructors use service skills. So there are many positive features in this new student as customer paradigm. Next slide. So as we shift, some do worry that the customer focus has some disturbing nuances, but instructors, as you know, are far from customer service reps. And we don't exactly have customers, but we are shifting our thinking to a student-centered, service-oriented approach. More universities tend to care about the student satisfaction because of its potential impact on student motivation, retention, recruitment efforts, and educational outcomes. And to meet student needs, we have to listen to what they want. We talked about what Walden has done at the university level to listen to the customer and to become student-centered. And at the instructor level, we can listen to our customer students in many ways. We can listen to what they share in the student lounge. And even in week 6, we can refer back to their introduction and align what they said to maybe about their role, what they do at work, to a question we ask in the discussion forum. And we can also listen in the discussions. Students want a safe, positive atmosphere, so they're not afraid to make mistakes. They want instructors to set the tone for active participation and substantive posting. They aren't interested that you counter their post, but that you use their post as a platform to continue their learning. We can listen in their assignments, like going deeper than good point and making comments. We can teach through feedback and provide meaningful feedback that increases their critical thinking skills. Referring back that show we listened to an important observation they might have made in week 4 as you're grading their assignment in week 5. So another idea, in addition to listening to what they're saying in different parts of the classroom and their work, would be to go the extra mile. Say, send an email to those who forgot to post on Wednesday in week 1 and week 2. Remind them to post and offer some leniency because it's early in the term and everyone's still getting up to speed. I typically have more leeway for the first course in a program than, say, the final course. I feel like they should know what they're doing by then, but I'm a little bit more lenient with all the things that are going on now these days because students are in a time of turbulence. So let's talk more about what we can do to work with students to satisfy their needs. The next slide. If we look at what Sam Walton said, if you don't take care of your customer, someone else will. That's a customer service approach, of course. So it seems like a paradigm shift to move from working with students to a customer service approach, but we are customer oriented already in more ways than we realized. For instance, to build good customer relationships, one needs to follow customer service principles. And I've got a few customer service principles I'll share. And I want to talk about ways that we are already doing that as instructors. So one principle is to greet customers and approach them in a way that's authentic and sincere that fits the situation. And as instructors, we do that with announcements, emails, in the student lounge. Another principle for customer service is to show customers you understand what their needs are. And we do that to listening to students for what they need, as we just discussed. Another principle for good customer service is to show customers you understand what their needs are. And to help people. And even just letting a customer know about an event that you know they're personally interested in is helpful. And we do that by sharing a link to, say, a TED Talk, to a related resource in our field. Help students, again, by reaching out for missing assignments. Another example of that is I was doing final grades last term, and I noticed a student didn't submit a heavily weighted assignment. It was early in the term in week 2. I don't normally look back that far, but I reached out to her and she said that she thought she had submitted it. She'd done it. So in her mind, she was finished and she just didn't submit it. So she was so grateful. It made the difference between an A and a B for her. And she was so grateful. And I was really happy because it was obviously a huge help to her. And just a little bit of effort on my part really made a big difference for her. So another customer service principle is to continue to let customers know what's in it for them to do business with you. And as instructors, we can say let business or BS students, bachelor students, know about the Walden discount if they go right on to a master's program. And we can share valuable links and resources that Walden provides. We have so many here that I think we might take it for granted, at least I do. You know, the Writing Center, webinars, Grammarly, licenses to software tools and some programs. You know, referrals come from satisfied customers, and they're valuable. Another customer service principle is to listen to customer complaints. And we do that with student satisfaction surveys. Another principle is to look for complaints. And you may be doing that. I call it a pulse check. I ask students mid-session, what's going well and what would you like to see changed if possible? So one thing I found was that I post pretty detailed announcements, giving all sorts of tips and clarify things. And one student said, your announcements are so overwhelming, they are too detailed. And so I decided to change it up a little. I started with just the bare minimum, bullet points. This is all you have to know. And if that's all you want to know, you can stop reading here. And if you want to know more, and if you want more tips and strategies, keep reading. And so half the students loved that, and the other half loved it as well. So it really made sense that I asked, because I had no idea. Satisfaction is important, clearly. So studies show that 23% of students leave college due to a perception of poor service. 35% leave because the college doesn't care. Satisfaction promotes academic achievement and retention of students. So obviously it's important to get to know our customers or students and understand what they need. And that is the basis for the foundation for what we need to do to build relationships. The next slide. So students want student-instructor interaction, and they value the relationships with each other and with professors. So mutual trust and respect encourages students and instructors to take risks by becoming active partners. And that permits and encourages collaboration and exploration, and then both students and instructors thrive. Schreiner states that retention among first-year students is more likely to occur when students feel a sense of community, that they belong and feel welcome. In a safe and secure environment facilitates integration of new ideas and skills. It motivates students and leads to student satisfaction with the instructional process. When they're pleased with the learning community, they display positive thoughts. The feelings are contagious, so they flourish. Faculty become more satisfied, and it's a cycle, a positive cycle. So both parties must be present for this transformation to occur. And especially in turbulent times, students value the human connection. Instructors can help foster community and by leading robust and relevant discussions, and connect students to each other in the discussion forums. And one approach to facilitate this is by asking questions and drawing out meaningful conversations and ideas to unite students. I added a link for Bloom's taxonomy question stems, which are question starters to draw out thought-provoking questions. And you can click on that link and you'll see a lot of different question starters for a variety of learning domains. It's very helpful if you haven't seen it. An example of relationships and rewarding situations is one of my students loved the course. She was very upbeat and energetic, and she's connected to other students and to me. We built a relationship. She had an excellent experience, and she said that her sister saw how much she enjoyed the course, and they're both teachers, that her sister decided to enter the semester or the course the next semester. So that's rare, of course, but a good experience. And the relationship and the energy that class had was positive in so many ways. And I'm now teaching her sister, and it's just such a delight. It's so rewarding to see. Developing relationships has a positive effect on the instructional process and improves the student satisfaction and instructor reward clearly. In his studies of award-winning teachers, Joseph Lohman notes that interpersonal rapport was a critical dimension of excellence in the classroom. So needless to say, those two students I just mentioned are outstanding scholars. So as we focus more on the student, there is still a concern for some people that this outdated customer service of the student having too much power and the academic rigor will be diluted is still there. But you can have a hard and heartful instructor and teach with compassionate rigor. And that enables excellence for students and provides a rewarding experience for instructors. Next slide. And when instructors feel rewarded, they shift into a higher gear with the student-centered approach. They move into a less transactional, more student-centered, relationship-driven mentor approach. And this new way of thinking goes from micro to macro, instructor to mentor. The focus is on the student's journey, less so on the transactional course, more so on the relationship-driven big picture, transformation, the student's program and educational learning. So if it's the student's investment to get a better job, we're partnering with them on their journey for a degree to become lifelong learners, not just so on the course that we're teaching. We're looking at the big picture. The education is a transformative process, and we're not selling them or serving them a single transaction. So here's an example. One of my strongest bachelor's students emailed me, and he was frustrated about the process for entering our master's program. He felt like nobody cared, people dropped the ball. He was kind of insulted that nobody would take his money and help him get into the program. So as a last resort, he reached out to me before enrolling with a competitor. And it took me several emails and a lot of frustration on my part, quite frankly, to find someone to help him. And he was so close to just chucking it and going to a competitor. But I kept at it too, and I kept reaching out to people. And finally, things fell into place for him. And it was so rewarding to hear the excitement in his voice to be in Walden's program. He really wanted to stay with Walden. It was like he had to twist our arm to take his money. But I was so happy to know that he got in and I'd be able to teach him again. And it was because of me. Now, I'm not saying that to brag, but it was because not just making phone calls, but in building the relationship and being student-centered over the years, being a trusted instructor and mentor, that he felt comfortable in reaching out to me. And he still stays in touch. He keeps me apprised of his career. It's very rewarding to see his progression. I'm sure you have similar situations, but I share that just to really stress the importance of relationship. So our roles evolve from instructor to mentor, and we go the extra mile. The student customer philosophy follows the logic of transformation of higher ed into a competitive market, and ultimately a very lucrative business. The student customer approach goes far beyond an emphasis of student rights and the best educational experience possible. A customer is someone who pays for a product or service that meets their needs and demands a payoff. The customer-provider relationship differs from the student-teacher relationship. Education is not a service provided for a customer. Rather, this new student-customer paradigm is a progressive transformation process for students. So to summarize this presentation, as we continue to look for ways to identify student needs and to meet them without compromising academic standards, we use the approach of compassionate rigor. We increase student satisfaction and make our own work more rewarding, both of which promote academic achievement and retention. And the next slide. These are the references I used to create this presentation. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. And I thank you for joining this presentation today.